You are being prepared for massive abundance to enter your life. And I know that when we hear these type of messages, we're like, okay, so when? When is it coming? Because universe, God, I have been very patient all my life, and I'm telling you that it's already within you. Yes, it sounds really freaking cliche. However, abundance first starts with the state of being. How open and ready and willing are you to receive? Because maybe in your life, you have been the one who gives so much of yourself, of your time, your effort, even your resources, financial, very openly, very willingly, even to the point where it's detrimental to your mental health and well being. You would give the shirt off your back for somebody else because you believe that there's so much abundance in this world and you don't want to see people suffering. However, in the past, you could forget that you are also people, you are also a person, and you deserve to also not be suffering. And it could be really hard for you to remember that abundance is not only about what you can give to the world and to people and your job, family, friends. However, how much can you receive? And I know that a lot of us in this collective, it's like really hard, possibly, that when it comes to receiving, it's like, what do you mean? I'm the one who's giving, but abundance is an energy flow. It's a current where it's not only how much we give, but how much are we open and willing to be supported in our life. And I know that a lot of us in this vortex, we may be coming from a background where it may be very foreign for us to receive because we grew up in a place that, in an environment that is a lot of black mindset where there's never enough for us, and so therefore we don't expect anything. And it's not the expectation in a way where we feel entitled, but in a this type of expectation is knowing that we are worthy. We are worthy to be supported. We are worthy for what we want, what we desire, just as much as anybody else in the world is worthy of feeling safe, supported, worthy enough, because that is our birthright. And we may have different privileges that we've been bestowed upon, as well as different gifts that we have. You know, some of us are more analytical, others are more creative, or a mixture of both, but then in different areas of creativity. Maybe someone is more creative when it comes to animation and art, and another person is more creative when it comes to music or writing or speaking, whatever it may be. It's not about looking onto others about, oh, they have that gift but I don't have. You have your own gifts that you can invest on and multiply. I think that's the word that I'm trying to go for, or make more grand. That's not the word, but you know what I mean, where you take what you already have and make it even more. And I grew up in a religious background. Not that I consider myself religious, however, I remember the saying where it's like, God gives you gifts and it's your job to multiply it. And there's this story where there's like three or two different people who, one was given seeds and or gifts or money, and they just buried it and didn't do anything about it. And then God was like, what you do, you could have done so much more. And then the other person invested it and bought livestock and cows, and made a business and multiplied their gifts. So whatever gifts that you have, use it to its full potential, because it's, yes, you giving to the world and sharing your gifts. However, in the other end of that, it's when you give, you receive, whether it's that fulfillment, or it could also be in this physical world, the monetary gain that you need to support your physical vessel. Because a lot of the times when it comes to, us spiritual baddies, we have been indoctrinated to think that we need to be humble and not have, in order for us to show that we're spiritual and of the mind and heart and soul is connected into one. And that is coming from a lack mentality that capitalism and the patriarchy has put upon our minds, so that who benefits from that? Let's ask that question. Who really benefits from that? It's the system where only a small majority of people gets to enjoy the fruits of all of our labors, the labor that is where we share our gifts, whether, and we get to enjoy those fruits and create with those fruits different kinds of things that we want to, like make pie, make apple pie, blueberry pie, raspberry pie, whatever the case may be, and not just continue to grow the trees and the bushes and the crops and not eat from it. Like, we get to receive from what we put out, because that is our birthright. And it could be hard to get out of this mentality. However, coming from very humble beginnings, and I am still a work in progress. However, my mentality has changed when it comes to abundance, where it really starts within yourself. How open are you? And when I started to shift my mindset throughout the years, I started to see how when I give and am open to receive, there's so much more fulfillment in life. And then there is, our mind is programmed to magnetize and bring towards us more opportunities, people, places, things that we believe in. Like the things that we believe in magnetizes to us. And there's a difference, okay? Because it took me a while. That's why I like to share what I have learned from it, that it's not just about believing and saying I am abundant, I feel I am rich and whatnot. It's embodying it. Do you feel safe within your body? And where you're at right now, find things that help you ground within your body, that makes you feel worthy, and know that you are worthy of, even if it's drinking a cup of water and saying, I am worthy of this cup of water. I am worthy to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. I am worthy to take care of myself. Because I remember a time, and it's not even that long ago, where all of those things could be really hard for me. And I do go through those phases of depression and anxiety. And when it comes to this world that we live in, again, allowing ourselves to receive the gifts that these feelings, these very common natural feelings, are telling us about ourselves, instead of just pushing through and pretending that we're all good and dandy. It's allowing ourselves to feel safe in feeling those uncomfortable feelings, because when a lot of suppressed emotions are kept within our bodies, those could materialize into different things within our lives, whether it could be physically. I remember where I had such horrible acne all over my face, and this is still a journey for myself. However, I realized, because I was keeping so much emotions suppressed within myself and not allowing myself to feel and be honest about the things that I went through, how I felt, and actually processing and feeling, instead of just intellectualizing what it was that I went through and how I felt. It will show up in different ways for everybody. It could make you feel more irritable. It could affect your moods. It could affect your finances. It could affect your health, your mental health, physical health. Your relationship with yourself is so important. It all starts with that, and it's going to be a forever process, a forever journey, and a beautiful journey, because who we are now is not the same as who we are then, although at the same time we're holding within ourselves all the different versions of ourselves. And maybe there are versions where we feel as though has taught us even more lessons than some versions, and may want to just not accept those versions. But what I've learned is that when it comes to our shadows and our dark sides, our shadow is always going to be there. There can't be light without the shadow. And when we realize that it's about accepting both and all versions and integrating them, then it feels so much better. That's where the fulfillment comes in. Feeling all of it, being all of it. So I hope that this resonates, and I hope that those that are called to this message know that you are so freaking worthy, so freaking amazing, and you have so much gifts to give the world, and so much gifts to receive from the world. I freaking love you.